My name is Yousef Alkhouri. I'm a professor at Bethlehem Bible College, the only Bible college in the West Bank, but I also come from Gaza. My family remains in Gaza. My family still shelters at the Orthodox Church neighborhood in Gaza City. So I'm here to share with you about the experience of Palestinian Christians who are in Gaza, especially in the last 200 days. I apologize. So I'm here to share with you a little bit about the Palestinian Christian experience in Gaza City since the broke out of this ongoing genocide. All Palestinian Christians who live in Gaza sheltered at the Orthodox Church of St. Porphyrius and the Catholic Church, and a few families went to their private houses in different parts of Gaza Strip. What we are experiencing right now in Gaza and in Palestine in general, what I would prefer to call an ethno-religious cleansing of the Palestinian Christians. Israel is not at war only against the Palestinian people, but also knows the vulnerability of the Palestinian Christian community that has resulted in the death and the killing of many Palestinian Christians. Around 22 Palestinian Christians in Gaza were killed during this war. And we are still have a young lady, I don't know what to call her. She's 18 years old. She's just 16 years old. So she's a child who died yesterday, was killed in on her way to evacuate from the Catholic Church of the Holy Family to Rafah and then hopefully to Egypt. So the number of Christians who are losing their lives or being killed by the Israeli military is actually increasing, despite the fact that numbers of Palestinian Christians who live in Gaza is very tiny. We are talking about roughly 800 people in compared to a population of 2.2 million. And this number is declining. In fact, we are in touch with the church leaders in Gaza, and the Orthodox priest says that he's heartbroken. Actually, his message last Sunday during the service, he said that he cannot hold people back from leaving and migrating out of Gaza. And what he said that eventually maybe 100 people will remain, 100 Palestinian Christians will remain in Gaza. So this meeting is very critical for us because we have seen how Christians in the West have been not only providing the ideological framework for the genocide and support, but they have also financed and logistically supported the Israeli military. I'll tell you a story. A few months ago, during this genocide, I had a call with my family in Gaza at the Orthodox Church. And at the same time, they had the radio on the Israeli Arab army radio station. So they had radio station for the Israeli army in Arabic. And it was screaming the fact that 70 Christians from the US were at the military base in Gaza praying and supporting the Israeli military. Can you imagine that Christians in the city, in Gaza City, who were bombarded by the Israeli Air Force, are living in constant fear? They are starved almost to death. They had to leave their houses. About 90% actually of Christian houses in Gaza were destroyed. And the last one was my parents' house actually 2 nights ago. So this is the reality that they feel, and suddenly on the radio, they hear the news that Western Christians are supporting the Israeli military and providing the prayer and the aid to commit the genocide. And they try also to theologize, to sensitize the blood spill of Palestinians and Palestinian Christians. Unfortunately, what we see that Western Christianity has baptized its anti-Semitism in the blood of Christians in Gaza and in Palestine. Let's be honest about it. We are experiencing apartheid that has been very clear, and I think as South African, you know this very well. That many people coming from South Africa, church leaders who came here, And after they saw the country and saw our living condition, they said that it's even worse than South Africa in apartheid time. And nowadays we live under this ongoing genocide, and the world still denies that it's in fact genocide. And we expect that Israel would recognize and the United States would recognize that it's a genocide, because then they are incriminating themselves, because they have been part of this. So we are at a turning point in the history, not only of Palestine, but also the church witness and integrity is at the edge now. We can see that Muslims, Jews, and very minority Christians are doing what they are asked to do, to stand for what's just and what's due. That's actually the theme of our upcoming conference, Christ at the Checkpoint, to do justice and love mercy. The calling of the prophets are completely somehow erased from this reality that we experience, that the Christian West has ignored us. And what we see is that the Christian witness now is losing its credibility, because the church in the West has decided to stand unconditionally, unquestionably with the colonial regime of Israel. I think this is a historical moment also for the Dutch Reformed Church in South Africa. Do we learn from history? Have we learned something from history other than just standing for justice and truth? Because the church and theology have been weaponized repeatedly against marginalized groups of people. And we see it in Palestine. South Africa, the apartheid started in 1948. And the Palestinian Nakba started in 1948. 1994 broke free from that system of oppression, but we remain under the weight and the yoke of the Israeli imperialism and colonialism with the support of the church. So I hope that the Dutch Reformed Church would be a prophetic voice, like John the Baptist, and this desertly world that seems that there is a lack of justice, lack of prophetic voice, that you would be the prophetic voice that stands for the Palestinians, stands for life, for justice, and for truth. I'm thankful for your solidarity. I'm thankful for your bravery in making even this decision to meet with us and to listen to our voices, but also showing and expressing your boldness and prophetic voice, that you identify Israel as an apartheid. You recognize this, and I know that you have done this for a while. And we are looking even further how you can be the prophetic voice for the Western church and for the Western church even in Europe and North America.